Okay, we're playing stock up Tron here. Getting main deck Force of Negation is pretty nice. I was 1-1 against Prowess at this in testing, which I think was pretty cool. I found that Force of Negation was also a really good way to fight Stone Rains and Cleansing Wildfires, at least the Stone Rains against the Eldrazi decks. We haven't played a single Tron Ugin deck yet, and so I wanted to find a different angle of attack here. I also really wanted to still play Ugin's Labyrinth. Getting in there. Alright, it's a nice hand. I saw that my Bant Reclamation deck made top of the challenge. I didn't know, but that's exciting. Looks like we're up against Belcher here, so maybe a turn 2 Karn would be in order. Although maybe we get turn 2'd by the Belcher deck. Oh, they're not Belcher. They're Storm? There's Storm. So there's a surveilling a Pass in Flames. I think Titan's worst matchup is Prowess right now. Or sorry, Eldrazi's worst matchup is Prowess, which is pretty popular. They got a Row, which is definitely a good way to beat Graveyard Hate. Wish with 1 mana floating. So maybe like a Bolt for the Karn? Do you have thoughts on Red Belcher versus Blue Belcher, which is better positioned? It's kind of hard to tell, as someone who hasn't really been playing it. Like, I think that Red is better against Boros and Prowess, where it just kills faster, and like killing faster is the main thing that's important to like get underneath hate cards and to stop yourself from being aggroed out. Okay, so they did flip the Row. They plus here. Okay, I was just thinking an Imprintable would be a good draw. And so like I think that I'd be playing the Red Belcher. Also, Stormscale Scion just does help you so much against hate cards in general. Okay, it looks like we are not getting a full. Oh, I guess I didn't click the stock up. Although it's not going to matter that much probably because I'm just going to cast a really big Portent next turn. Will we get it next turn? Okay, so they have a Pass in Flames on the stack. This is obviously bait for the Crypt. Right now they can go Ritual up to 3, Wish down to 2, and then they can have 1 mana post-Wish. Does that do anything? I don't think this does anything. And if they had like a Reckless Impulse, they would have just cast that first, I think. Maybe exiling in response to the Ritual was right? I can exile in response to another Ritual. And before it does something? Yeah, maybe. I kind of want to see what the plan is. I might just cast a Nulldrifter next turn, 5. I guess I need a Imprintable to do that. Yeah, just it's fine. How good was Say Its Name all the time when you played it, or is Cash Grab just better indexed that one Say Its Name effect? It was fine, but I tend to want Cash Grab because it's an instant. From what I've heard watching the stream, they always have it. Well, I don't even know what it is in this context. So I can attack the Row next turn or Needle it. Okay. Alright, so we get to really lean in on our Force of Negations on the draw here. I think I'm going to go down like 2 Portents and into Consigns, though. Okay, so we have another Imprintable plus like a possible fast Karn. I think I got to keep this, although definitely not as good as our early hand. Although we didn't have Karn in our early hand anyways. Now we drew a Force of Negation. Yeah, we don't play Lab on turn 1, so if we draw a blue source, We can stock up next turn. Although a lot of our blue sources are like Lrien Revealed and Talisman, so that's a little bit tougher. Alright. That resolves. They hit a Ral and a Ritual. Okay, so we'll just go main phase, Island Cycle, so that we can have Consign up for a Ruby. No, we lost the first round. We did make a couple mistakes at the end. It was a very long and tough game 3. They were like kind of minor, but they punished me pretty bad. I think Witherbloom Command would fit well into Unearthed Skimmer deck. It'd be okay. I'm not a huge Witherbloom Command gamer, but it is like a passable card sometimes. Okay, Prismatic Ending Wooded Foothills, 2 big bricks here. They do have another Reckless Impulse. They won the flip. They're thinking about flipping. They decide not to. I'm going to let this go. They had a Ruby Medallion and an Artist Talent. They can't cast either of those either. 1, 2, 3. And then they Manamorphose. Okay, so they lost the flip. I'm going to go ahead and force this. I'm going to pitch the Portent. Stop them in their tracks here. Now, I don't really want to go Karn Tormod's Crypt, since that's going to just allow them to use the Prismatic Ending. So I think I'm going to go stock up and then consign the Ruby if I don't find a Force of Negation. I did not find a Force of Negation. I also don't find another unique piece of Tron. So I think I'm going to take stock up and then maybe just the Lrien Revealed so I can have another blue card for Force if I can stock up into a Force next turn. Yeah, it was a good match round 1, but couldn't bring it home. I think there was a good chance we would lose even if I didn't. I would have gotten 1 extra turn if I hadn't fetched and failed to find. I thought for sure I had another white source, or not for sure, but I thought I had another white source, and I did not. I did not have another one. Okay, so this Prismatic Ending leaves us. I could have taken Nulldrifter to maybe be able to draw Lab and go Karn into Crypt here. I'm gonna go exile Scrydraw looking for a Force. And then if I can't find a Force, try to put a land on top so I can go land into Karn. The 2-drop. Soulless Jailer. And I do brick. On the land, so maybe it would be better to make spawns and just Lrien Revealed. So they level Artist Talent. They have 4 cards in their hand. They could go off. They play an Arid Mesa, and then they pass. That's good news, obviously. We draw a Nulldrifter. So let me, I guess, stock up. I think I'm just going to take Urza's Mind, stock up. Just really digging for that Force of Negation. And we do brick. We do get Tron. I don't think any of these other cards really matter very much. I guess second Karn. They have a second Surveil land. Keeps a card on top. Discarding a Prismatic Ending. This is probably the card they kept on top. So it does seem like their hand's pretty bad, and the Artist Talent's going to be able to... They discard Wish. So they have 1 card left in their hand. They discard Shattering Spree, which I would have discarded over Wish. Although I guess maybe they just drew this. So they play a Ritual with 1 card in their hand. This is likely a ploy to loot into some action. Although they did not discard a card here. So they have some action. They got game-winning action. Okay. To game 3 we go. Round 2 of the challenge is about to start, so hopefully we can just take this one down real quick. Or lose real quick. Mine power plant tower. I guess we're keeping. Can't quite turn through Ulamog. Maybe keeping Lrien Revealed is better so I can dig for a blue card off the K command. Okay, to keep a card on top. I do think Witherbloom command against like the Eldrazi mana could get there. Don't want to see a ritual. We want to see a Ral, I guess. Okay, Reckless Impulse into 2 lands is also very acceptable. Okay. I guess I could have tapped a little better. I wonder if like stone braining them ever. Nah, it's not. Let's not fancy play too much. Spike, do you have a blue-red prowess build? I do. I haven't actually played the blue-red version on stream because I don't think it's been that interesting, but it should be in the Mox field. I guess my main difference is I'm playing Metamorphose, although I do also want to play the first Violent Urge, so I don't necessarily like love my build for whatever that's worth. Should I sphere the side for the matchup? Well, I prefer Soulless Jailer because it's 2 mana. I think 2 mana matters so much, just to get it down faster. So them killing my Talisman means I can't Ulamog this turn. Got 9 mana. What could I Kozilek's command into? Let's find out, I guess. I might be able to set up for a big Portent of Calamity. Although, you know what? I feel like it's going to be, instead, better for me to go... I think I'm going to Stonebrain Desperate Ritual. And it's a bit weird. Metamorphose, Ruby, Wish Glimpse. Okay, well... yeah, they have a Past in Flames in, so naming a Wish wasn't gonna be better than this. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about Basim Steel Cutter. It's been something I've wanted to get around to. I'm gonna resolve mulligans over here, and I haven't gotten around to it yet. Maybe tonight I could work on it. I have been hankering to cast Basim again. Now, I got my Desperate Rituals Stonebrained in this kind of spot not that long ago, which is kind of why I wanted to take this line. I just kind of felt like I was kind of out of... the lack of rituals was really punishing on these combo turns. Feels like having a jailer play... Oh, they've already killed my jailer. They, Brotherhood ended my jailer. You could have K-commanded jailer and wish for it. Oh. It's true. Kind of tough to be playing... Okay, we're playing against Eldrazi again. Although we are on the play this time. Great hand. I think there could be a build of Tron that plays Ensnaring Bridge, Chalice, 3-ball, and that has Ugin as a win con. I don't know. I don't know about main decking all these cards, but Prison Tron has been something that's been viable before. Okay, so up against Green Tron. Interesting. Well, this hand's pretty ideal. Turn 2 Karn, followed by with Force of Negation up. Doesn't really get better unless we were on the play. Okay, plays another star. Plays an Urza's Mine. And then in their second main phase, cracks the star. And then passes, okay. So see if they have Natty Tron. No Natty Tron. I guess I don't want to... Sorry, my mouse is being a little weird. Okay. I don't want to brick on a land for stock up here, so we'll just play it safe. They might have a K command for 1, and that'd be okay. Gotta feel pretty favored in this matchup, having the forces and the consigns. Let's put a card on the bottom. I played the matchup a few times. It's like 90-10 in my favor. Okay, this is... I just kind of interesting because earlier someone was calling like Jeskai versus Eldrazi 80-20, 90-10. I know Magic players love to exaggerate. I get it. 90-10 matchups almost just don't exist. It's like... like 80-20 matchups almost have, like, don't exist, but they exist a bit more. Alright, well, let's put them out of their misery here. The nuts. Although if we drill like this every game, it's 90-10. I'm 14-0. Sultai Ula Frog versus Eldrazi. So Goryo's. 90-10s don't exist. Have you not played Burn versus Soul Sisters? Well, I said they almost don't exist, but I don't even think that's 90-10. I've beaten Burn Soul Sisters plenty of times as Burn, but like it's that one's probably an 80-20. Yeah, maybe 10, 20 years ago, but it's just so rare these days. Okay, I'm gonna cut the... I think I want to cut Portents for Consigns. Portent's good if you hit like the 1 of Ulamog, but besides that, it's just not that strong here. Being a 4/4 select, any thoughts on a blue artifact like Cryptic Coat to grab with Karn? That's interesting. I don't know how often you're going to want a Karn just for a blue card. Metamorph might be the better option. So we have Natural Tron. We'll see if we need to play the Consign or hold up the Consign next turn. They're going to have Tron. The Talisman would be really nice to be able to go Consign into Ugin. Tron versus Infect is pretty close to 90-10 with both being competitive. Well, neither of those decks are super competitive right now. But if you're talking about, like, in the past, like, I would say that wasn't even 90-10. 90-10 is, like... 90-10 is only ever referred to in, like, vibe-based, like, internet comments. Like, you will basically never see a huge sample size actual 90-10. You'll see some small sample size 90-10s. But, like, actual big, meaningful sample size 90-10s just don't really exist. Main phase Disruptor Flute. Naming Consign to Memory. It's pretty good. Blue-Red gives Storm versus Burn was 80-20. Probably Burn had Pressure Interaction Eidolon. It was a bad matchup, I remember. I was... I played against Seth's Manfield at GP San Antonio, and I was playing Storm, and he was playing Burn. Okay, hold on. A Force of Negation would be so nice here. Not quite that lucky. I'm gonna grab this Ulamog for sure. Ulamog Talisman? I have to discard the power of stock up. I was playing Storm, he was playing Burn. I was on the draw for game 3, and he went like Swift Spear into like Searing Blaze my Baral or Goblin Electromancer, I can't remember which one it was, into play an Eidolon. Okay, so they Emrakul me, but don't know how much this does. Okay, so then Seth apologized for the draw. He went sorry. That the draw was so good, and I have just 2 lands in play to start my turn, And I'm like, no, I have outs. and I'm able to go like Ritual, Brawl, Manamorphose. No, I think it was Ritual, Brawl, Ritual, Lightning Bolt the Eidolon, and I went down to like 4 life or something like that. And then I just show Seth my hand of 3, which was 3 Manamorphose exactly. My hand after that was 3 Manamorphose, and his eyes popped, and I just cast them, and I was flipping cards off the top of my library, and I bricked really hard, but I was really I just felt like such a baller. That was my like first interaction with Seth too. Psycho with the Twitch Prime, thank you, welcome back. Like, what can our opponent do here? They literally they can't even go Talisman, Consign the own Talisman because of the Disruptor Flute, which is very funny. Like, this might end up being 13-13, you draw a card, which is like still not that bad, right? Yeah, I still lost, but just for like a brief moment, I felt like such a hero. Okay, so Lrien Revealed, fail to find. See the deck list too. This is also my upkeep and not my draw step, so I don't know if they know that. Maybe they should have gone stock up, and then they could have discarded the hand size something. Okay, so I'm going to play my Urza's Tower. Can I go stock? Yeah, I can go stock up into Talisman, hold up, Consign, with the ability to Emrakul next turn. All right, so let's take Force of Negation stock up so we can have an extra layer of interaction there. I know the deck tech got a little bit hidden from the challenge this morning, but yeah, I think stock up is really, really good in this archetype. I know it's kind of funny. We're still like exploring new stock up decks. I actually I had this deck built pre Ugin, and I decided to wait for Ugin, and then somehow it just didn't end up being on the list of like Ugin decks I was working on, or that. So I was working on it, but it didn't end up being on the list of Ugin decks that I brought to the stream. Okay, so do I want to consign this so I can have force up? I think I want to force it because there's maybe not as many force targets, and also so 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I can actually go Ulamog the Flute also, and I can have consign up if they don't play another thing next turn. Oh, I didn't even notice. I didn't even see this art. It's a little weird. It looks kind of smushed too. Poly 21 months is appreciate you. This is cool, but where's our Mindslaver? Our Syncopates. It's a terrible version of Lutron. I did think about playing the Mindslaver. Funny enough. But yeah, it is true. You don't need to play. You don't need to play the exact same version of Tron that people have been playing forever. Robot with 30 months stocked up. Hell yeah. So I'm going to go after the Emrakul and the Power Plants. That's the one they tutored for. So this draw sub stop is maybe from the Emrakul. Just a 1 of Ulamog. It's been pretty nice so far. Had 2 for a little bit. Poor Emrakul, betrayed by Ulamog. Every action on twitch.tv/aspiring spike is part of the MTG canon. During GP Minneapolis was the first tournament where Eidolon of the Great River was legal, and my win-in for day 2 was against Storm. I played Eidolon on turn 2, game 1, and my opponent called a judge, walked away, had deck checks, played our game, and then made a big scene because no one would have played main deck Pyrostech Pillar. It's super unfair. Started whispering to it. That's so funny. Okay, so they can crack this map, and then they have 7 mana post map. We're not very scared of a Sire. We're not very scared of Ugin. What are we scared of? Karn liberated, ironically. Okay, it's a Sire. Okay, this does have Menace. So I can gain life with my Ugin. Unsocial with the 5 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So now I'm at 9. And I have 6 mana post Ugin, so I can't play another one. But I think they're going to be pretty bad at dealing me an extra 2 damage here. They're going to get to gain 7 on the block. No, so they would die if they did that. So next, I guess if they cast a second Sire, winning is going to be pretty tough. I would need to find a Karn, K commands, Portent of Calamity. Although I don't know that K command should put enough toughness into play, right? Alright, okay, so I'm at 2 life. I draw a card. Okay. Now, what's the best way to go about this with Karn? I imagine it's just going to be Bridge. Is there anything better? No Ballista today. Let me see what my other card is. Another card. So what's kind of interesting is I could Stonebrain twice. Yeah, I guess the best thing to do here is to Karn, Stonebrain, and name a 4 of. Although if I'm wrong about whatever 4 of it is, I can't get the bridge. Let's see. So in their exile, they have a bunch of towers, 2 power plants. I see 2 Mycospawns. I see 1 Beseiju. I see 1 Ugin. You can't name lands? I think you can name lands. Yeah, you can name lands. You can even name basic lands. So I see 2 Sylvan Scryings. I see 1 Ancient Stirrings. Forest. No, they probably only have 2 more forests. They should have 3 more Ancient Stirrings. I kind of feel like the bridge line is better at this point, but this line's like a little too fun. Should be 3 Ugin Slabs left. They honestly might play less than 4. Did they not play Rumble? I don't think. I mean, Rumble is. We have seen no Rumbles so far. Only 1 Mycospawn? I thought there's 2. There's 2 Mycospawns here. Attack first? No, you don't want to attack first. Attacking first is wrong because then like it's way less likely we get to snipe 3 cards with the Stonebrain, of course, right? Would be very risky play after sideboard. They could have swapped anything. How do you cut like Stirrings? I guess we'll find. I don't know. I agree. This is a risky play. It's also just kind of very fun. I want to do it. Okay. Like I've never got to Stonebrain Ancient Stirrings for the win, and it worked out. Yeah, this line is just a little bit too sweet to not take. If this was a challenge, I'd probably just get Bridge. Although we could get Beseiju, although there's 2 Besejus in exile, or there's 1 Beseiju in exile. Yeah, Chromatic Star was the 4 of it seemed. This worked though. Opponent taking it in. Bridge would have won 2. I guess that's not the worst way to win. Yeah, this was a little too fun to not try. Okay, we're on the draw. I do kind of hate mulliganing like land, Talisman, K command, Forest, but we need to draw another land. I'm not gonna count. We can't count the expedition maps. But with the Lrien Revealed, we have 22 lands to draw into. We're probably like 80% to draw a land. And any land is pretty good because we have the Force. So population size 53, sample size 2, successes 22, 66. Okay, this is what I could do the calculator because I thought it was gonna be much higher than that. Okay, they're going to 5. I'm going to 4. It looks like they're going to 4 also. Wow, the perfect 4-card hands exist. It seems. Urza's Mine, Urza's Power Plant, Island stock up. In a tournament setting, do you maximize the ceiling or minimize the floor? It kind of depends. It's just like it's like it. I don't know if you're talking about deck building or deck selection or what, but in general, like when you're ahead, you want to minimize the floor, and when you're behind, you want to maximize the ceiling for gameplay. Okay, no, this is very weird that I haven't seen an Urza's power plant, an Urza's tower on the other side of the field in a long time, it seems. But as soon as we register them ourselves, we play against 2 in a row. Any more leagues with Faithless Stories they can play this weekend? So we played in the challenge today. We went 0-2. We could have played a little bit. We could have played a little bit better. But both matches were really, really tough. But beyond that, we haven't played any more leagues with it now. So they force pitch Portent of Calamity. They have 1 card left in their hand. They Island Cycle. Do they have another force to hardcast here? I'm definitely going to go for the Karn. Now they have their own card, but I have Skysovereign in my sideboard, but I have to actually draw a land to cast it, I guess. Do they have a Skysovereign? Right now it looks like their list is the same. I don't know if they have just copied their list or not. Seems like they maybe copied the list. I don't know how else we're supposed to infer. So if we can draw Urza's Tower, we can Skysovereign. We don't draw Urza's Tower. I can't crack the Expedition map. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 off the K command. Can't I tick up? I can tick up. What I think I'm going to do instead is main phase Scry Draw and make a spawn. And if I draw a land, then I can minus for Cityscape Leveler. But if I draw this is maybe even like the perfect card to just cast next turn instead. So tick up. Maybe I could just cast Ugin instead next turn too. They find Tron, and then they play Skysovereign instead of casting Cityscape Leveler, which is probably a mistake. Although maybe they want to get their own coating. No, they can't coating me because Karn ticked up. Coating, tick up. Well, I think this is better because if I found the land, I could just grab Leveler. Although I guess that wouldn't have worked because then they go Skysovereign, kill Karn, and then they coating me. They grab their own Leveler here. And I drew a Portent. I guess I'm just gonna cast the Portent. I have the out of finding the Ulamog. I can probably find Tron here. Okay, so instant, artifact, creature, land. So click done. Cast Ulamog. Exiling Karn and Tower. Don't have a blue card for 4s. Feeling pretty good though, unless they play a Tower. Alright. Fun mirror match. I think I'm just cutting all my Ugins. No, I think I want 1 Ugin. Let's go -1 Portent, -3 Ugin. This is the second Tron mirror in a row. And the first one was green, this one is blue. But yeah, it is really weird because I haven't, I don't know the last time I saw Tron lands on stream. Maybe it happened like once last week, but it's just kind of funny that when we play them, everyone wants to play them, huh? Okay, they mulled a 6. We're going to keep our 7 here. Thanks, one of Ugin. Go to your Labyrinth. Go to your Labyrinth. Hey, just lost a spike to 4. Thank you for contributing to the stream, Alex. GG's. Why is Skysovereign good? It kills opposing Karns, and that's kind of the main thing, is you can use your Karn to kill your opposing Karn, which is kind of fun. You played against 2 Karn decks this league so far. So turn 1 map. We'll see if they have another Tron piece. We only have 2 of the 3 at the moment. Any thoughts to that older Bring to Light Keep Shift deck from Pre-Mage 3? Haven't played in a bit. Just eyeing out what's fun. I don't know if I have a lot of thoughts on that deck, I guess, but I know that in like my local area, like the DFW area, there are a lot of gamers who were like obsessed with that archetype. They like for a long time would tout it as being the most underplayed archetype, the best deck of the format. There's like a little group of them, so I always think about them. They were like so high on the list. Have I thought any more on Nature Rhythm Elves? A little bit. Haven't gotten very far. Let's see if I have Force of Negation. I'll probably Force, or I might Force. Okay, well, we'll take Karn now. Yeah, Nature's Rhythm Elves is... It would probably be better to play Devoted Druid, Nature's Rhythm. And when I've tried to build that, it doesn't look very good. So not a glowing review, I guess. Looks like, oh, they don't have the Force? Okay. So we 2-0 the mirror match. It looks like they're maybe playing the just same 75 as us. Let's get a trophy prediction. I'm going to keep this. I just value having Force on the draw so much. We have a lot of really good top decks too. And if they are Prowess, being able to force a Steel Cutter is a big deal. I also beat Prowess yesterday. Largely due to Force. Player 75, want to try it. Long time Blue Tron sicko, how I am. We used to beef with the Blue Tron gamers, but no more. Now allies. I tried a similar version of Temur Battlecry modern deck instead. It works pretty fine. That's good to hear, yeah. Looks like we're up against Boros and not Prowess. Okay, well there's a Misty Rainforest, so I don't know what's going on. Omnath? Don't want to get Beseiju locked. Obviously, I'm very happy to see Omnath. Alright. I probably should play Island, though. It's kind of funny to have 3 Urza's Mines in play. I should definitely have played Island, though. We could have gone, like, drawn stock up and stock up into another Tron land. Okay, I'll keep a lab. I'm probably just K-commanding again instead of playing into all this open mana. Maybe my opponent will play Omnath, and then I'll kill it in response to the trigger, untapping an Ugin. Although, maybe I don't need to kill it in response to the trigger if I'm going to untap an Ugin. Might be the sweet Leyline Valkylis. Yeah, maybe. Could be. I can't believe they had... I can't believe they had stock up here. I don't know what we're supposed to do. Maybe I was supposed to respond with the command. Although I don't feel like they're main decking Spell Pierce, which is kind of all that gets me. So I'm not going to play around a counterspell here. So there's another piece of Tron, and I guess the map as well. I think I'm going to keep all of these cards. Let's go Karn, Ugin into Karn here. I'm just getting Torpor Orb. Although maybe I'm opening myself up to Solitude a little bit. I think it's fine, probably. Red-white's maybe Prismatic ending the orb? No. 3rd mana. So no card draw, but they can Omnath fetch land. Maybe they go Omnath Time Warp? Low sample size, I feel like I've never seen Ugin be good. Ugin's definitely been good several times for us. it's also like you're coming. Like Ugin is insane in this matchup, and you're also like we just played against Tron 2 times in a row. You know what I mean? They do go Ugin Time Warp. Yeah, we can invoke the Nulldrifter next turn too. Although if I want to search up Tron, it gets a little weird. It's nice that they can't like Eternal Witness loop me. They already played their land this turn? No. Quasar 8 months, welcome back. I couldn't see YouTube video for Winter Night Reanimated. Did you play it already? We did play it. I think we went 1-2 though. Of course, this is just kind of what it's like to play Reanimator decks on stream. Like they're just very high variance. But it did better off stream. I'm glad you're liking it. So they got 4 cards. They're attacking my Ugin. 2 energy in the pool, so they could kill it with a discharge. Well, that is what they do. Think about main deck Consign to allow for Nulldrifter scam, and what do you think about subtlety? I'm not interested in main deck in the Consigns. I'm happy enough to sideboard them. Although this league, I guess they would have been good. But like the Nulldrifter scam stuff, like y'all gotta chill. It's not that powerful to scam Nulldrifter. And it's like it's very difficult to do in this deck, which requires double blue by the time you have 4 mana, so it's not really much of a thing. And subtlety I just don't think is well positioned. I think it's good against exactly Titan, and it's like not bad against Dimir, but it's not very good. I think Force is a lot better right now. I would play some subtleties in the board if I wasn't a Karn deck. I wonder what they're thinking about here. They might be thinking about like casting Eternal Witness just to get the beatdown going, which I don't think that makes sense. I guess they're thinking about their land, maybe. Like what they want to do with Omnath. Cam seems high. Well, I got new Korean moisturizer, so I'm showing off my. Spike, you got a short, please fix that. Why? Okay, we got to talk about something. Every time I meet one of you people in person, one of you Twitch chatters, like literal 90% matchup, 9 times out of 10, you're way taller than I thought. You're way taller than I thought. I thought, Spike, you were like 5'5". How can you tell how tall a person is via camera angle? I don't know how you have an impression about my height at all. I don't know how you have an impression. But you'll always go, you're so much taller than I thought. Well, just because you're like 6'6", Panda doesn't. And no one's that tall compared to you. I'm gonna type test in the chat here. You got 3 cards. So are we lagging? Dropping my Tums. Yeah, it might be I might have short king energy. I don't know. I'll say this though. I would love to be shorter. The older I grow, I feel like it's a scam to be tall. It's easier to build muscle. It's more comfortable on airplanes. My fiance is 5'1", and I would like to be closer to her. We're in a long distance relationship. You live longer if you're shorter. It's a scam. Being tall is a scam. You're better at basketball, so that's been an advantage for me in the past. There's not a lot going on for you. You live longer? Yeah, you really tall people have shorter lifespans typically. You have more health problems. 6'7", and my wife is 6'2". It's all downside. Yeah. Although your kids are okay, my opponent is disconnected. What NBA team are your kids joining? You're more conventionally attractive and society taller. Okay, but here's the thing about dating is as a man, if you're trying to attract a woman, if you are confident and funny and you smell good, it doesn't. I just don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters, but maybe coming from me, that's not the best place to come from. I don't know. I just feel like if you are confident and funny and smell good, that's all that matters, in my opinion, in my experience. Yeah, but maybe as a tall person, I have this opinion. You're not sure? So you have no idea? I mean, I do agree that that's valid. I will say that, like, Esther has said, like, several times that, like, if I was, like, she doesn't like how tall I am, that she would prefer to date someone shorter. like I'm not, like, she prefers shorter men in general, and I prefer taller women in general, but we just happen to love each other. For better or for worse. In sickness and in health. Alright, so let me cast this map. Why did we cast a spell on our turn? They cast Orm's Chant, which says you can't cast spells. Delete. Aggressively anecdotal. Yeah, I mean, of course, this is everybody in the world, right? You just can only talk about your own lived experiences. So we can evoke this, and we still get to keep the Nulldrifter because of the orb. Ask us what her preferred height is. Yeah, she doesn't have, like, a preferred one. She just prefers closer to her. Okay. So now I get to evoke the Nulldrifter. It's okay, I guess. Oh yeah, it's concerts are better. So concerts are better as a tall person, but pictures are worse. It's worse to take pictures because you all, like, I am in the back of every picture I've ever taken in my entire life. Time for a picture. Get to the back. I want to be in the front of one picture my entire life. I kind of in the Force. Nah, we should save this for, like, a time warp. Pictures are so unimportant, but you're beautiful. You should enjoy pictures. Okay, so my Ugin's down to all the way to 8 loyalty here. Alright, let's find that Ulamog. I'm gonna leave the other blue up so I could maybe stock up or Portent into Ulamog with Force up. Delete. Aren't tall people paid better on average? Maybe. I don't feel like that was my experience in my careers. Alright, I'm gonna submit this. Our first job as a tall person is meteorologist, so that's kind of neat. How long have you been a meteorologist, Panda? That's so sick. I'm gonna mulligan this, I think. If this was, obviously, if we had Tron, we could keep. This hand has Tron, so we can keep. 99% of CEOs are 6 foot tall, been in USA. Or about, or, I mean, that's an interesting stat that we could definitely dive into, but probably for the best not to. So you're saying you're in less than smaller streamers. Lucy seems to think that. Lucy, that dog can walk out there. Come here, Lucy. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Yes, baby Lucy. Poor crazy Lucy. The doctor recently diagnosed her with monkey brains. Incurable. So make a Besaged here. Do get Besaged. Should I K command for 1? I think I'm going to K command for 1. Let me cast a Karn next turn. This is imprintable to Lab, so I could go Lab Talisman Karn. That seems good enough to keep. Also, it's a good card in the matchup. Lucy, 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 Lucy. So sweet. So dumb, but so sweet. How many games was won by Portent? We've won a few games with Portent today. We've been hitting the Ulamog pretty often. Okay, so they bounced the map. You want to go down? Okay, so I'm going to print this Nulldrifter instead of the Ugin now. And then we're going to go Talisman, Karn. Now, my opponent's been... They've shown us that they have a lot of galvanic discharges in their deck. Also, Teferi turns off Portent. Oh, it is kind of nice sometimes when they just force your card. You don't have to think about it. They also pitched a Snapcaster Mage, which is pretty cool. So we can still just use this as a card draw spell. In fact, there's a good chance we should just next turn Portent for a bunch and then try to... Oh, okay, but they have Wrenn and 6 Besage, so this is all of a sudden going to be very tough to ever cast this Ugin. Yeah, my hand's pretty bad against this too. I only have one more island in the deck. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede to the Wrenn and 6 Besage lock on the play and go to game 3. And I don't think I want the Consigns. Let's stop Snapcaster. How's it, Chal? We went 0-2. They were both very tough matches where we could have played a little bit better to maybe win. So I'm going to keep this hand. It's a very weird hand. I don't like having the island a ton. I'm going to go ahead and imprint the Drifter on turn 1 so that if I drew another imprintable next turn, I could play turn 2 Karn. Stock up seems great. So we can take Mind Power Plant, which is interesting. This is kind of like, it's almost like a Fact or Fiction pile, where we're either taking Mind Power Plant or taking Nulldrifter Portent. And I think because they have like Consigns and stuff post board, and we have a decent amount of mana as is, I'm just going to take the spells. You want to go outside, Akita? So if they had Besage, they probably would have main phased it. We drew a second tower, which is a little sad. So this is a little weird. I think I'm actually going to go imprint Nulldrifter and then cast Portent, just because this is much better against Consign, which is what they're representing. If we do cast something, maybe it gets consigned, but like this is a good chance to be like a draw 3 or a draw 4. And then if it just blanks their mana, that's pretty nice. So we hit map 4. Wow, this is kind of perfect. So done. And then I could just go cast Lrien Revealed, which also doesn't get consigned. Although it could have been good to just hold this in the hand to have the force. And now I have to discard 3 cards, but I don't know. This was pretty fun. I think I'm going to discard Lab Tower Talisman. Such an interesting game. Wait, you don't have a Besage. Maybe they have Besage and Consign. Yeah, 4 mana, draw 6. Map. Well, the map lets me get Tron. So discard 1, 2. Yeah. So definitely try to force this. If they have like a Veil or a Spell Pierce, it's devastating. I think they have a Consign also. Okay, they don't have the Consign. We draw the 3rd Tron piece. So let me see if I can bait the Consign. Maybe playing a Tron land first would have been better to do that. I think at this point we're going to go ahead and cast the Karn into the Consign though. So they have 5 cards. Hopefully they don't have another Wrenn and 6. That would be bad. Although maybe we could go Karn Needle. If I was playing an RCQ today, what deck would you play? I don't know. I'm not sure at the very least. Maybe I should play Talisman. Probably should play this Talisman first. Okay, not another Consign, which is good. I think I'm grabbing the Leveler. So for me, I would be looking at playing like Ugin Dice Factory. I'd be looking at playing Prowess. I'd be looking at playing Storm. I'd be looking at playing the Abzan Birthing Ritual deck, although I haven't tested that much against Prowess, so I'd want to kind of confirm how that matchup goes, maybe change the sideboard. I'd maybe look at the Jeskai Narset Ascendancy list, so a lot of stuff. Tormod's Crypt. I feel like I'd rather get Needle for if I was that scared. Would you board as Prowess, or as Severance for Prowess? Well, so maybe you play more Sanctifier and Vex, some more answers to Steel Cutter, Fatal Pushes. Where's my orb? I probably should have orbed first because of Solitude, huh? So they go end of turn Time Warp. Sheesh. It's very cool. Narset into stock up, we lose. Do you like Izzet or Jeskai better? I wouldn't want to see exactly how much better Jeskai is against Boros, but it does seem to be like significantly better. So what's nice is they can't like witness loop the Time Warp without removing the orb. It's gonna be very tough for them to like they can't go pending witness Time Warp, but they could maybe go pending Time Warp into witness. Another good match. The end of turn Time Warp play is so cool. Sad to not have the blue card for this force. They reveal it's a fairy Time Raveler. Which I'll be pretty happy if they cast, because they just can't Time Warp me. Although if they cast it, they can Orms chant me. Then I can plus the card and kill something. I'm gonna go let the dogs in. So there's a Teferi. I imagine they bounce the Leveler. Could maybe be the Orb. So they do bounce the Leveler. 6 cards in hand now. Green, red. So a Rin 6 or a Boseiju. Rin 6. They pick up Flooded Strand instead of Boseiju so they can Orms chant me with Kicker, so I can't even Karn plus. Well, pretty good. I think I'm still going to target the Talisman. I don't have Force of Negation up. Pretty tough. You don't have Force because it's temporary? Yeah, I said I don't have Force up. I probably should have enunciated more. I am aware. They pick up a Flooded Strand. Omnath. No card draw. Surveil Land. They graveyard another copy of Omnath. They cast another copy of Time Warp. 3 cards in their hand after this. I saw the blue-red list from a week ago when it asked whether you could be feasible to add Emery and Saga to it. I guess I don't know which list you're talking about. We played a lot of blue-red lists. But you can let me know which one, I guess. Okay, so Karn down. They have 3 cards in their hand. They have an Otawara. They Otawara Narset. Okay, very cool. Yeah, opponents play this game really well. The Unstable Amulet one. Yeah, you could play Emery and stuff in there. They get another copy of Orm's Chance. I just concede. I think I just concede. Tough match. I think on the play we can keep this. Would mulligan on the draw. I saw a thread on the deck this weekend when RCQ. There was the idea that you don't need Ephemerate or if you have Otawara or something. It's an interesting thought. Obviously, it's very slow, but interesting. Okay, happy to draw this Ugin. I'll be happier if we rip Urza's Mine, I guess. We do have a stock up to dig for us. Okay, Voice of Victory. So no Force of Negations until that's gone, I guess. Unfortunately, that's not the right piece of Tron here, so I guess I'm taking these two. Jason, 2 months. Thanks for the brews. Always very refreshing to watch. Glad you're liking them. So the Goblin Bombardment to sack the voice tokens, and they're going to get to jump something with Guide of Souls. So it's 2 from the tokens when they enter, 2 afterwards, and then 4 from the creature in play. So that looks like 6 damage, putting me down to 12. Yeah, I was hoping to at least find an expedition map if I failed to find the mine. Although this turn, me being able to go K command, exile Voice of Victory, make 2 spawn tokens seems pretty good. It's minus a lot of damage for them. I'm really glad that they put the counters on the voice. So I'm done, I guess I miscounted somewhere too. I'm down to 10. I'll be down to 9 after I get the target the voice. Yeah, gonna be better to go Talisman into X equals 2 than K command just X equals 3. And then if they kill a spawn with a Goblin Bombardment somewhere along the way here, then I'm going to cycle the Lrien Revealed. They also have missed a damage, which is good for us. They also missed a land drop last turn, so I'm feeling pretty solid despite kind of having a slower hand and bricking on the stock up a little bit. So play another copy of Guide of Souls here. Not very strong. They're going to Galvanic Discharge so they can jump and hit me down to 7, effectively 5 with the bombardment, if that's how you want to think about it. Okay, so I'm down to 7. Obviously, we draw an expedition map or a mine. Things get a lot easier, but they're not super necessary either. So this is 5, 6, 7. So maybe the chatter who said they've never seen Ugin be good can say how they feel about this turn. The missing land drops was obviously incredibly instrumental. Okay, so let's start with a expedition map. Exile Guide of Souls. Win the game. Okay, I think I am not going to side anything in. I'm just going to go get some water. Be right back. I do like having Force for Stony Silence, Blood Moon. A mulligan. I think just too slow a hand. No K command. Not likely to have Tron. Sam could have Tron, and it does have K command, and we're already on the mull to 6, so I think I'm going to sit in it back, despite it not being great. This hand's also pretty good if we draw Ugin's Labyrinth. Expedition map, Urza's Mine. On the draw, also, to some extent, just keeping higher upside hands is pretty important. Not a bad draw. Guide into Pride. Play the Talisman. Hopefully we're just not under so much pressure that we can kind of comfortably stock up next turn, digging for the mine, but... Although maybe if I'm going to hope for something, I should hope to just top deck the mine, huh? But doing the challenge of Jessica looting, we lost two very, very close, very tough matches where we could have definitely played a little bit better both games to like get an extra turn and maybe have pulled it off, but they were tough. Especially like on a Monday morning where I'm waking up still. Okay, pretty good Static Prison. Is restock modern legal? I guess I don't know what restock is. I know we're beaming here, but somehow the curiosity is more important for me than understanding the joke. They did a 5 mana double regrowth. Obviously that card's not very good, but I don't think it's legal. It is legal? Okay. Wouldn't be very good. Alright, Urza's mine, easy peasy. Static Prison took our ability to... Easy peasy, I guess. Very good chance we're going to have to settle this in game 3. If it discharged, then they just want energy. Okay. So we're going to get hit for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, down to 6. At the very best. They did miss their third land again, although here's land number 3. Untapped. Okay, 2 games. Game 3 we go. Charmal's kind of interesting. Or sorry, Consign is kind of interesting against Charmal. Maybe I want more Consigns than Forces. I think, at the very least, I think I'm down to go like 2 Portents, 1 Force, and play like 3. That's too many. Let's keep it the 4th Force. Also just good against Blood Moon, although hard to tell exactly what their split is. We are on the play for game 3, which is nice. Unfortunately, we don't have a second land to have these 2 maps turn into Tron pieces, so we're going to mulligan. This hand is interesting. I think I definitely need to click the keep button and then put back one of these blue cards. I guess the Force of Negation is a little bit worse on this mulligan, huh? They mulled a 6. So what I'm going to do turn 1 is I'm going to go Ugin's Labyrinth Ulamog. I'm going to play the map, and I'm going to cycle the Lrien Revealed. And what this accomplishes is allowing me to cast Nulldrifter or stock up if I draw them next turn. Or just to sack the map. Or play the Consign, I guess. But. Your turn. Another turn 1 Guide of Souls. Thankful it's not Ragavan. So we don't need to play around Charmal this turn. Although maybe I just should have still kept up the... I guess I don't know what I could really consign here. Like, would I consign in a Johnny ETB? Don't think so. Top 8 at RCQ last weekend was Solte Skimmerbrew, went undefeated in the Swiss. Lost some very close games to Boris Energy quarterfinals. Awesome. Yeah, I do like that deck. Obviously went really well on stream during the leagues and not as well during the challenge, but definitely one I like. All right, let's hold up the Consign this turn. Just not get got by the Charmal. Nice that we could answer a Charmal or a Blood Moon this turn, and they're pretty likely to have one of those since they didn't play anything turn 2. They also Graveyard and Ocelot Pride. Maybe they're looking for a land to cast Charmal or Blood Moon. All right, I'm not going to consign here, although it could be fine. Could also have replicated, stop the energy. Consign the fetch, not a good play. So have you ever seen anybody consign a fetch land in Modern? This is not just a super strictly better stifle. If it were, then it would see like just main deck 4 of play in every blue deck. It only counters triggered abilities, and fetch lands are activated abilities. Voice of Victory. So I guess I feel silly for not consigning last turn. Because now consigning is not an option anymore. I am gonna have 10 mana next turn, but I can only have 9 mana if I get the Ulamog back. So we're looking to draw Karn, we're looking to draw K-Command, we're looking to draw Ugin, we're looking to draw Consign to Memory. So these could have been Portent of Calamities, which probably would have been game winners. And it doesn't even really look like Ulamog will stabilize, and looks like they're going to get to play a hate card here that I can't deal with because of the voice. So maybe if these had still been Portents, we pretty likely to have stabilized this turn at least. Alright, so it looks like 3-0 into 3-2. Going to go to another league though. Once my opponent figures out which card they want to kill me with. I'm just gonna they're gonna figure it out. There's basically no. They have 5 spells in their hand. They'll figure it out. Bummer. Not a bad first league though. If I had just not sideboarded too.